Good morning. So, it's a beautiful sunny day today here, and I'm really not trying to make you feel bad about the bad weather in New York by showing all these sunny t-shirt weather over here. So today I was thinking about talking about cardio workouts versus resistance training. I mentioned these things to a few of you, but not to everyone. There's many misconceptions out there in the health and the fitness world, so to say, these days, and one of them is the effectiveness of cardiovascular exercising, particularly talking about fat loss. Well, there are many studies that examined this issue for fairly good reasons. Most of the equipment manufacturing companies invested a lot of money and a lot of research into these huge cardiovascular machineries. Now, the problem is that really what research concluded is the following, is that after basically the first month of exercising, for someone who actually is quite a bit out of condition, for the first month or so, there are positive benefits of this cardiovascular training. But after about a month or so, your body is adapting to a certain set of movements, meaning because cardiovascular exercises are very repetitive, it uses the same pattern over and over and over, which is very unusual for a human being, because if we just go outside and walk or run or go uphill, your pattern changes. We never really use exactly the same pattern. So because of that, your body is able to adapt to it fairly quickly. The human body is really made for adapting to different situations, and it's very good at it. So we have to make sure it's keep guessing what the next thing is. We want to make sure we don't give enough time for it to adapt to a certain set of movements. So that is just one aspect of it. After about a month or so using a cardiovascular equipment, the so-called metabolic rate increase effect of this type of exercise is basically non-existing. That means while you're exercising, you're burning certain amount of calories. Yeah, that's true. But if you ever check out, on the machine how much, how many calories you burn, it's actually a very low amount while you're doing the exercise. What really matters is that afterwards, even while you're sitting in your office by your desk, you're using up more energy. So the overall effect of, for example, if you exercise in the morning at 8 in the morning, then you have like all the way through till 10 in the evening. That's like a 14-hour window while your body is working on an elevated metabolic rate. So it uses up more energy for about 14 hours than normally. Once you go back to sleep, then obviously this drops back down. With cardiovascular training, while you're doing the exercising, that 20, 30, 40 minutes, an hour maybe, that's why your body is working at an elevated level, then it drops back down. Also, cardiovascular exercises decrease the so-called anti-aging hormones, which is not very good because basically if you do it long enough, it can make you look very old and very worn down. Okay? Resistance training is actually increasing the anti-aging hormones. This is all contributed to partially to what sort of the hormonal balance is the following. There are some building hormones in your system and there are some catabolic hormones in your system, and they always work like this. When one is increasing, the other one drops, and so on and so forth. So we want to make sure that we want to stay in this sort of building hormonal state where your cells have the chance to rejuvenate better. Also, cardiovascular exercises, let's face it, are pretty boring. And I'm really not talking about when you go outside and you do a hike, when you have some really nice places where you have, when the exercise also have some sort of meditative effect. I'm talking about cardiovascular exercise predominantly that are being done in like a gym environment. So resistance training also, what it helps is strengthening your joints, obviously strengthening the muscles, using your joints in the full range of motion, unlike a cardiovascular exercise which uses your joints only in a limited shortened range of motion, and it can cause in the long run a so-called overuse syndrome. So, and there are many other reasons why on the long run what you really want to do, you want to master the basic understanding of resistance training, so you're able to build it into your everyday life. And resistance training, keep in mind, you know very well, I'm not talking about lifting hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds of weight. It's really just doing exercises where you're putting yourself in one of the major prime movement patterns, lunging, squatting, bending, twisting, pulling, pushing, bending. I think I repeated bending, and practicing those in a full range of motion. Okay, so have a lovely day. Keep up with your meditation, please, with your eating, and with resistance training predominantly, if you could. And I look forward to talking to you tomorrow. Okay, I'll think of something good. Okay, ciao, bye. By the way, there was a butterfly sitting here right up until I pressed the record button. So I was like hoping that it's gonna stay there. Maybe tomorrow. Bye.